أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. I was thinking, what shall I be speaking about in today that will be beneficial to you? So as you know, right now as a resource, you know that in the backpack there is the booklet about the Hajj and everything you do in Hajj, meaning the fiqh of al-Hajj with the consideration of the four madhahib in it. So I was thinking, if I'm going to start to talk about Hajj from a fiqh point of view, we're talking about a whole day seminar mentioning every madhab, what they said, and etc. So you have a resource in that book that comes with the backpack. Number two, you have a resource on YouTube. There's so many 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours in every language, Arabic, English, Urdu, that you can listen to, Persian, and repeat again and again and again. One thing that is known historically in the past, that when people used to learn the fiqh of Islam, so they will learn salah, zakah, fasting, and when they come to Hajj, majority of the Muslim world was not able to go to Hajj. So they'll skip it and say, who's going to Hajj? And then they'll move on. That's actually, even if you have went recently to Mauritania or to this, when they come to that fiqh, they skip it and they say, if you're going to Hajj, you come back, we'll teach it to you. But anyway, because it was very difficult to go to Hajj. So if I sit down right now and start talking, I will talk about the general arkan, the things that you cannot miss in Hajj, versus the things that if you by mistake have missed it, you can supplement it with a slaughter of a lamb because you broke one or you missed one or you forgot one. But other than that, explaining the fiqh of al-Hajj, even to me when I was a student of knowledge, the most difficult part of fiqh was fiqh al-Hajj, because you just keep on missing, like, well, where is Muzdalifah and where is Mina and where is Arafah and where is the Jamarat and what does it mean 3 Jamarat, and you will not understand it until you go there and you see it with your eyes, then all it becomes demystifies. We used to have a joke, when we were in university, that people would fail their Islamic studies class because of the fiqh of al-Hajj. Because you keep on forgetting and mixing until you go there, then khalas, that's it. It becomes a knowledge. So I don't want you to stress about that. I will be there with you. We will go to Medina. And from Medina, we will have a bus ride. And we are, as he mentioned, one bus. I can repeat the things that we're going to do in Hajj. I will explain it to you. We have plenty of time to speak about it, to calm your anxiety. What am I going to do next? What am I going to do next? Don't worry, you will know what you're going to do next, and inshallah you will know even maybe the wisdom behind it, the beauty of it, and what comes next. And as much as we can, we stick together, but there is the possibility that we separate, but you will know inshallah, so don't stress about that. What I felt from experience, that I went to Hajj, and I went to Hajj long time ago because I lived in Saudi Arabia. I went to Hajj many times, and I went to Hajj in the summer, and we're going right now for Hajj in the summer. So first of all, when we talk about Hajj and going to Hajj, there is spiritual preparation, physical preparation, social preparation, right? And financial preparation. Finances, I trust that you know your finances and you know you're taking care of it. The social dimension is, as you know and as you hear, to ask people's forgiveness. If I hurt you, please forgive me. I forgive you. And there's the part, if you owe money to someone and you want to go to Hajj, you have to ask for his permission, because going to Hajj will delay you paying back his money. So obviously common sense that you take their permission to go to Hajj. Many times they permit you, If they said, no, please pay me back my money, then this year you don't go to Hajj, inshallah, next year you go once you pay them back. The spiritual preparation and the physical preparation, and believe me, if you prepare yourself right now physically, it will help you spiritually. You might be surprised that I actually want to talk about physical preparation, and you might think, why is he talking about that? Because if your body is not happy, your soul is not, you're not focused, you're just tired, right? So one thing I advise you between now and going to Hajj, I'm going to give you a number. Whatever you can do from that number, try to do. If you can walk 10 miles a day between now and Hajj and get your legs used to walking and to standing, do it. If you can do 10, do 5. If you can do 5, do 3. Whatever you can, if you can just get outside of your house and make a circle and walk. You can walk 1 mile, then rest, 1 mile, then rest. Subhanallah, the body responds very quickly. Allah created our body in a way that it responds to you very quickly. Like actually, if you go to the gym, you can see, you can build muscle in 1 week if you go religiously to the gym every day. So the idea is you want to walk outside and try to, use an umbrella or this, but walk in the sun and get used to the idea that you sweat. Because some of us don't like sweat. We sweat, we take a shower. We sweat, we take a shower. So you need to get comfort in your own sweat, right? And walk. Your body will tighten and it will become strong. Your leg muscles, your calf muscles, your shoulder, and keeping your head high when you're walking. This can mean a lot for your spiritual growth and your spiritual enjoyment. Why? Because your body didn't get boom at once shocked with walking. So one of the things that I do, and I've started doing from last week, is walk, run, exercise, and get used to being outside under the heat of the sun. And then start eating healthy from now. Just eat salads, eat this, and eat less and less meat and more salads. It will actually have an effect on your spiritual life and a spiritual state. Because even from long time, you open the books and they said if you eat meat every day, you will become like you are what you eat, basically. So you eat less and less of the meat, more and more of the vegetables, and you start hydrating yourself and getting used to the idea of drinking water. Many of us, because we live in not a very hot climate, we're not used to drinking water. If you don't drink water during the days of Al-Hajj, you will maybe have a heat stroke or collapse, right? So get used to drinking water right now in the morning, evening, and you will find yourself that you're going to go to the bathroom a lot. That's fine, that's cleansing. But in Hajj, you will sweat a lot of it out, and you're not going to even need to go to the bathroom because you sweat it. But if there is nothing to sweat, you will suffer. So the physical state, starting to eat healthy, starting to eat less, starting to walk more, and starting to feeding yourself that I am on a journey, I'm going to be with a lot of people, and there will be people who push me. And you have to understand, when people push one another in Hajj, they actually did not push you. 1,000 people behind, someone push someone, push someone, push someone, push someone, push someone. So the guy who pushed you is not the one who pushed you. Maybe 1,000 people behind is the one who started. And the one, maybe he did not push, he crippled and fell, and he pushed the person, and the dominoes effect took place. You cannot be upset at people squeezing you and at people pushing you, because nobody has control of it. So I remember, 1992, I made a Hajj, and of the tawaf, of what I could recall, because we always talked about it, we made 7 tawaf, 3 of which my feet were not touching on the floor. I was like floating, and just a little bit touching, and then the crowd carries you, Now they expanded the sahin of the haram, the arena, so now it's way much more, because I just went to Umrah in the beginning of Ramadan, and it accommodates a lot, and there is 2nd floor, 3rd floor. When I made that, they've just finished the 2nd and 3rd floor, and nobody wanted to go there, so it was all in the 1st floor. So the idea is, there is that expectation. So mental preparation, that I am going for a journey, that involves a lot of hardship. You have to mentally say, I cannot react. I cannot react. I will lose my Hajj if I start reacting. I will displease my Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I'm not going for that. Something about Hajj and the physical preparation is this. You and I are born in the age of airplanes. Even your father probably was born in the age of the trucks and the trains, right? But before that, take airplanes out, take trucks, cars, all of that out. What humanity used to go to Hajj with ships and with camels, horses. So I want you to imagine this. Hajj today is very easy comparing to the past, but it's still hard. So the good news, it's easy. The bad news, it is, or the struggling news, let's not call it bad because we need that struggle. The stuff that you can never take out of Hajj is the point of struggle. And there is so many ahadith that talk about that. But I want you to think with me for a bit. Why am I saying walk, walk, walk? Imagine yourself, you are from China and you want to go to Hajj. Hajj is a very interesting thing. Allah demands from us to become world travelers. To go to Hajj, you have to become a world traveler. You have to go through a country after a country after a country after a country. And imagine when you are taking a trip on camels and horses and this and feet. What are the reasons that could kill you? Snake bite, scorpion bite, spider bite, heat stroke, dehydration, starvation, losing the way and ending up in somewhere that you can't even, you get lost till you die. Street robbers, getting sick on the way, losing all of your money, right? And this and this and that. A brother in our community in Saratoga, he's from Morocco, and he tells us that my grandfather went to Hajj, and after 1 year, people said, khalas, he passed away. So what he left from Morocco, and on the way, just very not far away, still in Morocco, but a day or 2 or 3, maybe a week of traveling, maybe between Morocco and Algeria, he got robbed. So he said, I'm not going home. So he worked for a whole year in that place, then went Hajj the next year. Because he didn't have the means to continue. And then he came back and he found they've already made the funeral for him. You know, just so that you know. So imagine that. Now, how much walking do you have to go if you're coming from China, from India, from Bangladesh? Tigers, hyenas, lions. You have to pass through Iran. You have to pass through Iraq. You have to pass through Afghanistan, Pakistan, India. Imagine that whole trip coming. If you're coming from Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, this, and if you go on the north, on the easy route, you're passing by so many nations. If you go straight, you're going through the Sahara Desert. Something is going to kill you. Imagine our brothers and sisters who came from Malaysia and Indonesia, going through the sea and going through a storm, and then the whole ship sinks. So, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. That's why I feel with the ease of the airplanes and the ease of the trip, Allah, kept some struggle for us so that we can taste what Al-Hajj is. That party that used to be, they used to make 2 parties for a Haji in the Muslim world that is far away from Mecca and Medina. 1, a farewell party because you might never come back. And 2, a welcome back party because what? Because you just came back alive. And I was wondering, why do people call the one who go to Hajj, Hajji? Why the one who call Salah, they don't call him Musalli or this, right? The one who gives Zakawati, for example. The one who fasts Ramadan, Sawam. Only Hajj. Because literally when people came back from Hajj, they used to be marked as the one who went to Hajj and came back alive. So this guy actually made it back alive. So they used to call him Hajji. That's my guess and analysis of what happened in the past. So what you need to do is to get that historical background in your head and think, oh my God, I'm traveling through so many countries and so many this, but now with an airplane. So when I land in the airport and it takes 3-4 hours to get out of the airport, or I'm leaving the airport and it takes 3-4 hours, it is nothing comparing to 3-4 months with all the other possibilities, okay? When it comes to Al-Hajj, Allah used different words with furud al-Islam. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, فَاعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Know that La ilaha illallah. Shahada needs ilm. Salah, وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةِ. Establish salah. Salah is an establishment in your whole life. وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ. The word atu means give in a timely manner. So there is atu has that clock inside it that's ticking, right? Atu zakah. When Allah Azza wa Jal talk about fasting, Allah said, يَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ. Siyam has been written upon you. When it comes to Hajj, Allah said two things. وَأَتِمُّ الْحَجَّ وَالْعُمْرَةَ لِلَّهِ. Finish Hajj and Umrah to Allah. Complete it. In Hajj and Umrah, your eye is not on the starting line, your eye is on the finishing line. So Allah says, complete your Hajj and Umrah lillah. It's easy to start it lillah, it is hard to end it lillah. So this is one concept that has to be with your head all the time. Another one, Allah says, وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. It is Allah's right upon people that they go and do Hajj. The word Hajj, Hajja in Arabic in general, it means qasada. It means wanted to go somewhere and the destination and the purpose of the journey is designated. So when you have a journey and you know where you're going and you know why you're going, that's Hajj. So in Hajj, we know where we're going and we know why we're going, and we're going for Allah Azza wa Jal. What's the point? The point of Hajj is to leave your comfort zone, your home and the bed that you're used to, your business and your co-workers that you're used to, your family and everybody that you're used to, your neighborhood, your country, your food, your comfort, your schedule of sleep. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala once in your lifetime wants you to detach yourself from all of that and attach yourself and latch yourself to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not gonna happen unless you leave your country. If Hajj delivers the purpose, it would be like Salah. You know how we build a masjid in every neighborhood in America? Then Allah would have allowed us to make Hajj in every masjid we build. Khalas, you build a masjid, it's a copy of the Kaaba. Anyway, every masjid that is built is a copy of the first house built for Allah in Kaaba. Khalas, you go there, make Umrah, you go there, make Hajj, you go there, make Salah. Allah could have designed it that way. The purpose of Hajj does not get fulfilled unless you leave your home and you go to where? And you go to somewhere else. And you go through the pain and suffering. And you go through this. And you have to constantly find the meaning. It's a soul-searching journey. It's something, when you go to Hajj, you ask yourself, before Hajj, why do we do 7 tawaf? Why do we do 7 sa'i? Why are we going to Mina? Then why are we going to Arafah? And then why are we going to Muzdalifah? And then why are we sleeping just the night of Muzdalifah? And then why are we going to this? And then why were we throwing the jamarat? If you try to make intellectual sense out of it, there is no answer why. The only answer is because Allah said so. Interestingly, I found if you really intend your Hajj to Allah Azza wa Jal and you do it for the sake of Allah, some way, somehow, when you're doing it, it makes sense to you. You start thinking, oh my God, that's why I need to go there, and that's why I need to. And you can only, this is between you and Allah, because you are actually into it. Once you get into it, Arafah will make sense, Muzdalifah will make sense, Mina will make sense, and the Jamarat will make sense, and all of that. The Hajj, as you know, has basically arkan and has wajibat. Arkan, if you miss it, you miss the whole Hajj. There's no way to make it up, right? So the arkan of al-Hajj are 4, just so that you know, and they're very simple. To make ihram, right? Arafah, tawaf, and sa'i between as-Safa wal Marwa. These are actual pillars. Everything else come in the level of what? Of wajibat. So for example, ihram from miqat is a wajib. Okay, what if you missed the miqat and you didn't do that? You still put your ihram and you slaughter. You can make it up. You don't intentionally miss it, but there is a way to remedy it, right? And to find a solution for it. So the journey of Al-Hajj, we are not stressed. Oh my God, we're gonna put our ihram in the airplane. We don't have that stress because we're not going to Jeddah. People who are stressed out before leaving here is when they have to do their ihram in. And to do your ihram in the airplane, is difficult. You know how the bathroom of the airplane, you can't even turn around sometimes. Like you can just walk in this way and walk out, right? So where are you gonna do ihram? So it becomes stress, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do it when we land in Turkey, because no, we're the one who's going through Turkey is going through Turkey, going through I don't know what else, Emirates or this, but the idea is we're going to Medina first. If you go to Medina, all of this stress has been taken away from you. You enjoy Medina, and from Medina, you take the shower and everything in your hotel. We go to the masjid, Abiyar Ali or the Hulayfa and all of that, and we stop there, and we make our ihram from there. And I will explain to you then, it's very simple. What you do is whatever Hajj you're planning. Are you planning to do Hajj alone, or Hajj with Umrah connected, or Hajj with Umrah disconnected? Hajj alone is called Mufrid. Hajj with Umrah connected is called Qarin or Qiran. And Hajj separated from Umrah is called Tamattu.
So the group is going to do Tamattu, everybody.
So we're going to do Tamattu. That's what I've always done, and that's the most beautiful way. So you're going to go from Medina to Mecca. Right when we leave Medina, I don't think it's even half an hour, you hit the miqat. So we already took our showers, we've already put our ihram, and we go there, and we just stand there. Maybe you want to make wudu, maybe one of this is Labbaik Allahumma bi'umrah mutamatti'an biha ila al-hajj. Ya Allah, I make umrah and I will make tamattu', which means I will take off my ihram after I'm done with umrah until hajj starts. Tamattu' means umrah, break, hajj. Umrah with ihram, break without ihram, hajj you put back on your ihram. So very simple. When we do the umrah, what is the first thing we came, when we came to Mecca? We did tawaf for umrah. That will stand up also for tawaf al-qudum. So you come and you make tawaf, and then you make sa'i, and we'll teach you that inshallah. So there's the tawaf, drink from Zamzam, pray 2 rak'ah, or pray 2 rak'ah, then drink from Zamzam, then you go and make the sa'i. Very simple. Umrah is very simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. And actually 2 and 3 are not mandatory, they're just sunnah. If you didn't do them, you're not going to lose your umrah. Do ihram, make tawaf, make sa'i. Those arkan al-umrah, you can't miss that. So you do ihram, we already will make ihram, so don't worry about that. Then we're going to make tawaf, no problem. And then you're going to make sa'i. Between tawaf and sa'i, it's the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ to pray 2 rak'ah sunnah behind Maqam Ibrahim or in that. And if there is no space, anywhere in the haram is good. And then you drink from Zamzam, and then you go for your sa'i. When you're doing sa'i, there is so much Zamzam on the way. So inshallah, I will be also teaching you when you go to sa'i, when we start with Safa, what to say. Very simple stuff. Nothing complicated. And I think some of it will be even written in the books, what you're going to say. It's you recite an ayah from the Quran, إن الصفا والمروة من شعائر الله من حج البيت واعتمر فلا جناح عليه أن يطوف بهما ومن تطوع خيرا فإن الله شاكر عليم. أبدأ بما بدأ به الله, and then you do لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده وعز جنده ونصر عبده وهدم الأحزاب وحده. And then you make dua. There is a hadith that is mentioned. Even if you don't do this, still your sa'i, just start at as-safa. One way is done. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you always start at as-safa and you end up at al-marwa because it's an odd number. So obviously you're going to end up different than where you started. Some people think 1, 2 is 1. 3, 4 is 2. No. Sa'i is one way is enough. So again, without going into the details, after that, when you're done with your ihram, you're done with your tawaf, you're done with drinking Zamzam, praying 2 rak'ah, making sa'i, starting at Safa, ending at Al-Marwa, shaving your head or shortening your hair or clipping from it, now you can go back to the hotel, take a shower, put back your clothes, and now you are enjoying the time until Hajj starts. What does enjoying means? Tamattu'. We are enjoying our time. So what's on the schedule? Go to Salah, come back from Salah. Go to Salah, come back to Salah. Go to Salah, come back to Salah. So the idea is
That's
that.
the best part.
Exactly.
How
And that's
many-
your.
How many, do we have it 2 days?
It will end up
Well,
how many days
days
between
after we
finishing the Umrah or before Hajj in Mecca?
2 days.
2 days,
3 days.
3 days. I think it's longer. Yeah.
Can we do multiple umrahs during those few days? If you want to do more umrahs? Like,
You can. Yes, you can.
So is
As
the
long as
miqat
you-
required for second?
Yes, you
third,
go
fourth?
out to Masjid Aisha, which is very simple, very easy. All the taxis will take you to Masjid Aisha. So Alhamdulillah, there is no. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. As you know, you can do Hajj on yourself the first time. The second time you can do it on behalf of someone else, your father, your mother, if they didn't do Hajj, right? So, and you just say, instead of saying لبيك اللهم بعمرة متمتعا بها إلى الحج عن نفسي, you say عن أمي عن أبي, and you mention his name. So that's it. In the past, people used to give money to someone to go and perform Hajj on behalf of their own mother. It doesn't even have to be your own mother. You can do it on behalf of someone else.
You would same time or separate time?
So first you have to have done Hajj yourself.
Yes.
Hajjatul Islam, you have to have done it. Now second time you can do it on behalf of someone else.
Does that go for both Umrah or Hajj? You can do Umrah on behalf of someone else?
Yes, that goes both for Umrah and Hajj. And here is a point of disagreement, is if I'm doing this Hajj on behalf of my mother, and I'm doing Tamattu, can I do the Umrah on behalf of my father and the Hajj on behalf of my mother? There's two answers, no and yes. So that's, for example, that's where things happen. But that's very easy. On the 8th day we go to Mina. Do we go to Tarwiyah to Mina? And then from Mina, next day after sunrise, the day of Arafah, we go to Arafah. The thing about Arafah is another preparation that you can do. There is, in the book, there is dua. There is so many apps. My Dua app. Because there's two types of dua. The dua that is narrated from the Prophet ﷺ. You have 5, 6, 7 hours in Arafah. In these 5, 6, 7 hours, you're gonna pray Dhuhr and Asr together. So in these 5, 6 hours, the preferred thing is to make dua. Now imagine how much dua do you know? Maybe for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, right? So you need a resource. So there's so many dua of the Prophet ﷺ and of even the Sahaba and of this on the app that you need to take with you so that you don't become sitting down and bored and doing nothing, right? So it is allowed to take a break. It is allowed to have, but drink water, this and that. Obviously the Prophet ﷺ, the whole day of Arafah, he did not read Quran. He did not do anything but dua. And in the middle of the day, he literally raised his hand in front of the whole crowd with a cup of milk, and he drank it, and he put it back, and he went back to his dua. Just to show that people don't fast on that day, and you can eat, and drink, but then go back to your dua. So he made it a statement, right? Because he was teaching people how to make Hajj. So, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Yes.
So I went to a different workshop a few weeks back,
Right.
and the speaker was saying for the day of Arafah, he would recommend that, like from now, start writing down the adiyah, so that way you have enough material and like just get used to them. Would you recommend that as well?
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Download apps, find books, find on the internet website, take a screenshot, and on the day of this, you expand the screen and you read the dua, right? It's a beautiful thing. And then make your list. Make your list of who you want to make dua to and what you want to make dua for. And the idea is to engage yourself and refocus yourself. The niyyah of the Hajj, especially I find it sometimes maybe challenging for youth. Like, why are we doing this, right? And what's the point of this? And why are we going through this? Actually, the point of Al-Hajj is to many things. It's a struggle. It's to roughen up, is to shape up, is to expand your tolerance limits. So you know how you can handle someone bothering you this much? So how are we going to train you to be bothered this much? If your limit is this much, how can it? Hajj will expand that. SubhanAllah, another thing expands that, Ramadan. And for what I have found out throughout the years, always Ramadan comes followed by Hajj. That's how the calendar is. Actually, in Surah Al-Baqarah, the ayat that talks about fasting comes right after it, the ayat about Hajj. Right? So, the idea of in what makes someone angry fast? Right? First of all, we have to agree anger is what destroys lives and destroys relationships and destroy your relationships. Some people are angry at Allah. Some people are angry at themselves. Some people are angry at others. And that causes them stress, disappointment, hardship. So it's the life quality becomes bad life quality. And Islam, the point of Islam is to live in peace and security and calmness and this. So how are we going to train someone to have tolerance and not get angry very fast? So we ask the question, when people are angry usually, when they are hungry, you get angry fast. When they are sleepy or sleep deprived. When they are
Push beyond the limits.
okay, tired. How do you get pushed beyond your limits? Right, tired.
Like if somebody hates like being in crowds, if they're in crowds for too long, they might.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's another one that triggers you is people pushing you. People making you, pushing you. So look, the things that makes us usually as human beings angry, hunger, thirst, tiredness, sleepiness, right? So, and on the top of that, when you have all of these four, someone comes and bothers you. So that's when you explode, right? So what does Ramadan teach us? Do you know what it teaches us? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, when you are fasting and someone comes and fights with you, and you have all of this piling on your head, you're hungry, thirsty, tired, and sleepy, and all of it, and someone comes and fights you, the training of Ramadan says, you cannot answer them. You literally start talking to Allah and you say, Ya Allah, Allahumma inni sa'im, Allahumma inni sa'im, Allah, Ya Allah, I'm fasting, Ya Allah, I'm fasting. And the guy is going at you. فَإِن شَابَّهُ فَإِن سَابَّهُ أَوْ شَاتَمَهُ أَحَدٌ. Rasulullah said, someone comes and cusses you out in Ramadan. Yani, they're fighting with you with anger and with cussing words. Let the person who's fasting in Ramadan say, Allahumma inni sa'im. This training, you're going to need it in Hajj. So that's why Hajj comes after fasting. And fasting comes before Hajj. So everything you learned in Ramadan and you took, right? It's going to help you as a training ground for this. So remember Ramadan and remember fasting. And if you want to fast this coming Monday or Thursday to just get back into the spirit of being under stress, do it. But the idea here is the point of Allah Azza wa Jal in the big picture, and maybe I will end with this and start entertaining maybe your questions. Allah created us as Muslims for a purpose. Human beings in general, not only Muslims. But us Muslims who accepted and signed the deal with Allah, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Rasulullah, I submit to you. Allah gave us goals. Goal number 1, to know the truth, love the truth, embrace the truth, speak the truth, and serve the truth. And the truth is Allah. Allah's name is Al-Haq. You have to speak the truth, embrace the truth, serve the truth, and Allah is the truth, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number 2, Allah created us to establish justice, fairness, on ourselves, within our families, within our community, whether we're leaders or not, to establish justice. Allah created us to carry responsibility, to be responsible for ourselves, our family, our society, humanity, and planet Earth. Allah put us khulafa. Khulafa, someone who comes after someone and takes care of something. That's the meaning of Khalifa. Okay? So the amana and the khilafah, Allah gave it to us. Allah created us on this planet to carry His will of having mercy and compassion towards others. To have mercy and compassion towards others. by our words, by our actions, by our money. Giving zakah and charity is nothing but being merciful towards someone else. So, what are the goals? To know Allah, love Allah, embrace Allah, speak about Allah, and not lie, right? Number one, as a Muslim and a woman. Number two, establish justice and fairness, right? Number three, to establish, to be responsible. And number four, to be merciful. طيب. Allah wants from us all of these things. So Allah gave us training. What is the training? The 5 pillars of Islam and the 6 articles of faith. 6 articles of faith put something in your heart. 5 pillars of Islam is in the world of action. So something covers you inside and something covers you outside. So do you know why we're going to Hajj? And knowing that we will be in pain and suffering. And knowing this so that we are trained that after Hajj, we will be so much ready to fulfill Allah's mission for us on planet Earth. That's our mission. طيب. Allah wants you to stand up for justice and equality and fairness. How in the world are you going to stand up for equality if you don't meet all human beings from all over the world and become comfortable with all of them? And you don't have discrimination. Oh, this is poor. Oh, this is rich. Oh, high family, low family, black, white, yellow, blonde, whatever, Chinese, African, European. If you have discrimination, subhanallah, I found out that people who have deep discrimination in their hearts, Hajj is more difficult for them. And they need Hajj. They're not bad people. Maybe they were raised that way, but they need Hajj to cleanse them. You really need to be comfortable with all of Allah's creation. Imagine this. Before people talk about world traveling, before people talk about equality and humanity and this, Allah designed a deen, gave us a deen that brought people from all the corners of the world and put them in one place and told them you cannot look different. You cannot look different. Do you know why we're not wearing clothes and we're wearing the towels? It's just for the sake of not being different. And at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, the difference between the rich of the poor, the rich was able to take the clothes and stitch. Most of the poor people did not have clothes that fit them like this at the time of the Prophet. So if you actually look at the clothes of the poor people at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, they look like ihram. So then when the people at the time of the Prophet put ihram, it was the only time the rich looked like the poor. Because you read in the hadith, a man walk in the masjid only with the izar. He doesn't even have another one to put on his, only one piece, right? And a person will just wear something. So you had to have something to wear, something designed and stitched. So anything stitched you cannot wear in Hajj. What's the point? To remove discrimination. So for the big picture in life, I need to know humanity. I need to serve humanity. I need to be comfortable with humanity. I need to remove all discrimination and all judgment and all racism. You know how much Hajj is relevant today? You read the news. How much racism there is. When we thought we put racism behind us. Hajj is the antidote for that. So, what is gonna make, what's hard easy? Your mind, your niyyah. So I'm gonna give you this example. Have you ever seen someone who's working out to build some muscle in the gym? Have you seen the weight that they carry? And they go like this and they start screaming, oh, oh. It's like he's about to deliver a baby or something, right? And he's doing, oh, and you're like, why are you doing? If someone who doesn't know, like, why is this person punishing themselves? Because, and they go home sore. And sometimes they tear the muscle or the tendon or the joint because one goal, they say it is worth it to go through the pain and suffering for the sake of building the muscle and looking good. It's worth it. Take that concept and say, it is worth it to go through the pain and suffering for the sake of Allah so that I can become equipped as a human being with so much patience and so much tolerance, even at the time of hardship, because this is the training that I need. It's worth it. Do you know what is the meaning of the words? It's worth it to do it for the sake of Allah in the language of the Quran and Hadith. The Prophet ﷺ, told us people suffer in Ramadan, and Ramadan, when the day is long and the night is short, Taraweeh becomes also suffering. So Rasulullah said, "Man sama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaban." Ihtisab in Arabic means that you say, "I am going through suffering, but Allah is worth it." That's it, ihtisab. He's worth it. The goal is worth it. And whosoever pray Taraweeh and Qiyam at night, imanan wa ihtisaban, he believes this is for Allah. Like the guy who goes to the gym, this is to build big muscle. I don't want to look the skinniest one amongst my friends. I want to look good, right? So I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to go through pain and suffering. That's iman. But you tell him, but you're going to suffer. He will say, it's worth it. That's ihtisab. So if you have iman, that this is for Allah and for the goals Allah set for you, and if you have that it's worth it, believe me, this is what's going to happen. The hardship of Al-Hajj becomes easy. Because there is some secret. The secret is two people sitting next to each other. One, they're both going through the same pain and suffering. One is doing it for the sake of Allah, for a purpose. The other is doing it. SubhanAllah, the one who does it for the sake of Allah, Allah sends something his way, makes the pain and suffering easy. The other person sitting next to him, he's what? He's pain and suffering, and it's 10 times harder. So what's gonna make the pain and suffering of Al-Hajj easier? Imanan wa ihtisaban. You say, this is for the sake of Allah. This is for me to leave my comfort. This is my training camp. This is my boot camp. This is what's gonna put me in shape. This is what's gonna help me stand up for my purpose in life. And it's worth it. SubhanAllah, when people push you, you start smiling. When people push you, Allah is watching. You look and you say, you're worth it. You're worth it. Push. You start touching. Oh, are you okay? The one who pushed you, you ask him, are you okay? Instead of him asking you, are you okay? Right? Allah said that. فَإِذَا الَّذِي بَيْنَكَ وَبَيْنَهُ عَدَاوَةٌ كَأَنَّهُ وَلِيٌّ حَمِيمٌ. Subhanallah. And I'm telling you, I have practiced this myself. And subhanallah, the people say, you're saying this to me? I pushed you. I'm sorry, but wallahi, someone pushed me. Oh, I already know. You don't even have to explain, right? So there's so many things that trigger people. Someone pushed someone, so now this person is triggered, and now he's like going, right? And now you are receiving this. So when you look at them and you say, "Stahdi billah," take it easy. Do you need anything? Do you want anything? You want me to bring you Zamzam or this? Like someone else made them angry, you're gonna make them calm down and happy. And Allah will give you the thawab of that. So there is a reason why Hajj is hard. There is a reason why it's crowded. It has always been hard and it has always been crowded. And subhanallah, as Brother Fredun said, there's packages that are $20,000 and $18,000. And many times the people, when you go to those camps, they're the most disgruntled and unhappy people. Because they thought when they paid $20,000 and $18,000, there will be no hardship, but there is a hardship. So now they are not happy. I paid $20,000 so that I don't get a hardship. But hardship is attached to Hajj. It's like someone saying, I'm fasting, but I didn't sign up for being hungry. Okay, fasting means hungry. So I believe this is where we should remind one another. And I believe when you take your backpack, read the book, and I will be with you. I will ask you, there is people who like to follow the hadith, there's people who follow one madhab. We will have an answer for everyone. Things, if I explain it right now in details, you will forget it, I guarantee you. I'll explain now in details, 5 minutes from now, you'll forget it. So instead of me going through another hour, you have so many YouTube videos, so many mashayikh that you love and hold dear to your heart. They all these days have a presentation. As a matter of fact, like right now in the other room, there is a presentation about Hajj, right? And about the fiqh of Al-Hajj and about the details. But it's different when you watch it again and again and again until it sticks in your head. But I believe people learn all the fiqh and they are mastering it, but when they go, they have a very bad experience. Why? Because they never prepared themselves mentally for hardship before they went. So all the fiqh went away and all the iman went away, and what's left is anger and why is this happening to me? So inshallah, I hope this has been
جزاك الله خير.
helpful inshallah.
الله يبارك فيكم. جزاك الله
بارك الله
خير.
فيكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته والحمد لله رب العالمين.
جزاك الله خير.